My name is Jacob Jagozinski. I'm part of Miss Morrison's 6th period class, and the day today is May 1st, 2015. Today we're going to be proving some identities. So this is what we're starting out with, and I kind of already started it. We're going to start working on this side. Just easier to break down, and this I kind of already have this started. So our 4a, we pretty much, to get to that, we have 2 A's, so we just break that down a little bit, and we bring down our cosine as well. And if you look at this, it's actually very similar to a sum and difference formula, and right here, the cosine A plus B, we can plug this in for our cosine 2a, which is the a, and plus the 2a, which is the b. So we're just going to plug that in then, and that is equal to cosine a times cosine b minus sine a sine b. Alright. And from here, we're just going to plug in our 2 A's into the A's and B's. So we have our cosine 2a times cosine 2a minus sine 2a times sine 2a. So after we plug in the 2 A's, we can actually look straight at our double angle formulas, and we have sine 2a and cosine 2a equaling some other formula, and we can just plug those in for each of our sine 2a's and cosine 2a's. So let's do that. So for our cosine 2a's, it's a cosine squared a minus sine squared a, and it's just times another cosine 2a, which is just another cosine. Okay, and we're back. So like I was saying, we pretty much just take our two cosine 2a's and multiply by each other, and these are the formulas for cosine 2a. And now we're just going to do the same thing over here with our sine 2a, which that formula is 2 sine a times cosine a. That makes that. So let's just plug those bad boys in. 2 sine a times cosine a times itself. 2 sine a times cosine. Can we make it a? Yes, we can. Okay. So now, this is the long and tedious part. We're going to have to FOIL everything. So that'll be fun. Alright, let's start out with this side. So cosine squared a times cosine squared a comes out to cosine to the 4th a. Cosine squared a times negative sine squared a. So cosine squared a times sine squared a. And then we'll start on this with a negative sine squared a times a cosine squared a. So it's just another one of these. And then to finish off the side of foiling, negative squared a times negative squared a is a positive sine to the 4th a. And actually, right here, we'll just make this a negative 2 cosine squared a sine squared a, and bring down the plus sign 4 to the a, and bring down the cosine 4 to the a. And that is our cosine side. So now, let's FOIL our sine side. So first we get a 4 sine a, these two, sine squared a, actually. And then we take our negative 2 sine a times cosine a. That's not going to work. Okay. Okay, so now we have our cosine side all foiled out. Let's do our sine side. So for our sine side, I just like to take, since we're just timesing this by itself, we'll just square it. So our sine side will just be 2 sine A times cosine A squared. And then I just distribute this to each of these three. So we'll come out to a 4 sine squared A times cosine squared A. And now that's our sine side, so all we have to do is just subtract this from that. Okay. So, if we take our cosine 4a, nothing else matches up, so we just end up with a cosine 4a. Oh, look at that. Cosine 4a. And then we have our minus 4 sine squared a times cosine squared a. That matches up with this. These are just switched around, but they match up. So negative 2 minus 4, it's negative 6 sine squared a times cosine squared a. And that knocks out those two. So all we have left is our plus sine to the 4th a. And that is our final answer. We have proved this identity. Genius!